Well, hello and welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, sponsored by Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. I am Kimberly Crow, your host and the creator of the Facebook community Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, a community by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs and experts get their business to the next level. Come join the community at www.entrepreneursrocketfuel.com/Facebook and join the conversation. Today, I'm going to interview a dear friend of mine, Jimi. She is an expert on her subject. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, Jimi.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll start from there.
Well, I'm a business financial consultant and accountant. And basically, I help businesses by taking care of all of the nuts and bolts, the yucky stuff, the budgets and the budgets and all of that stuff, and the bank reconciliations and taxes that people, and free people up so they can go and make a success of their business.
That is so powerful, because I know entrepreneurs are an expert in what they're an expert in, but they're not an expert in accounting all the time, right? So
Absolutely.
Having somebody else be able to watch our back and make sure that the numbers are going in the right places, so that when tax time comes, it's as easy as pie just to put that stuff over to your accountant and have them take care of it. Is that right?
That's right. And it's also important to know to know where your business is. Accounting is not just for the uncle. It's also for your business to know, so you can make this good, qualified, correct business decisions.
So a lot of entrepreneurs have a tendency to ignore their numbers because they don't want to know. They know they're not quite making a profit yet, or they're making a profit and it isn't where they're going to be, or they're like, no, I'm making money. Money's coming in. I'm not sure where it's going, but it's definitely coming in. And they don't want to really look at the numbers. Having somebody like you, where you put the numbers in and then you give a report back so that people can really see where they are, can be very powerful. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So what I know that you actually helped a good friend of mine, Ginny Trask, in reorganizing her business, and having a focus on numbers really released her from getting caught up in the minutia. Once she had a focus on where she wanted to go, she knew exactly what she had to sell in order to get there. Is that, can you tell us maybe a little bit about that journey?
I can tell you a little bit about that. She came to me. She'd had a travel agency for a couple of years. It wasn't doing any good. It was losing money. And she said, I'm sick of this. I'm ready to chuck it. I'm going to throw it down. And I said, well, just hold on. Just hold on. Actually, being me, I said, bullshit. Wait a minute.
I love it. That's called bullshit. When bullshit is called.
I said, now I want you to go home, and I want you to sit down with a pen. Sit your ass right in the chair with a pen and a paper. And I want you to visualize what you would really love for this company to be in maybe a year and 5 years. Really get clear on it and visualize it in as much detail as you can. And then then I want you to write down what you would have to do to achieve that, to make that a reality. Monthly goals, annual goals, weekly goals, daily goals, sometimes even hourly goals. But it's got to be clear.
Okay.
It's got to be clear. And she agreed, and she went home, she worked on it, and she came back and she said, well, I think in 3 years, I want to gross $1 million on this company.
In 3 years. All right.
I said, fine. She started doing her work. She followed the path. 2 years later, she grossed $5 million.
Wow, that's fantastic. Something about writing down goals and knowing where your point and where your final destination is. Then your GPS, your internal GPS, can get there, but you've got to know that final destination first, and then back into it and figure out what you need to do in order to accomplish that. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So tell us like maybe a story about how you helped an entrepreneur along the way and be able to achieve the goals that wasn't really getting there and really didn't want to look at their numbers.
Okay, let me think here. Think here for a minute.
All right. Well, what's some of the secret sauce that you have for entrepreneurs that they have real aha moments when they work with you, where they're like, oh, I really didn't even realize that was possible?
There are a lot of things. I mean, first of all, it's just setting everything up.
Oh, yes.
In the beginning.
Yep.
I mean, what kind of is it going to be a sole proprietorship? Is it going to be a corporation?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? How do you want to structure that? What kind of accounting systems do you need to install? Do you need personnel that needs to be trained? Just the myriad of different things, and it's so different for each different client. The needs are very different.
Oh, I like that. All right. So if people want to get a hold of you and work with you directly because they know that they don't know their numbers and they need to work with somebody like you who will call them on their bullshit and tell them to put their ass in a chair and figure it out, how can they work with you? How can they get a hold of you?
JP Accounting 13 at gmail.com.
JP Accounting 13 at gmail.com. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
All right. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Jimi, for being with us today. Very excited that you were able to join us and share your expertise with our crew. Before we let you go, any final words?
No, not really. Thank you so much for having me on.
It was my pleasure. All right, folks, that was another episode of the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. Super excited with another expert, Jimi, who was talking to us about accounting. We'll see you next time. Cheers.